Sven Tverberg was born in 1877, 140 years ago, near Voss, Norway. Great-grandpa was the oldest child in his family and would inherit his farm, but the farm could not support a family and he decided to go to the United States.
He worked as a farmer and eventually decided to become a pastor.
Lise Holland was born in 1885 in Haugesund on the west coast of Norway. Elise came to the United States when she was 16 and immediately started second grade. She progressed rapidly and went on to Madison Normal to become a teacher.
Sven and Elise met at Madison Normal and were married in June of 1914. They left immediately to be missionaries in Madagascar.
World War I began in 1914, and so they had to stay in Norway until 1915. Betty was born in Norway and was the only Tverberg child not born in Madagascar.
The Tverberg family arrived in Madagascar in 1915 and began their ministry there. Both great-great-grandpa and great-great-grandma were missionaries in the southern part of Madagascar.
In 1916, Borgi was born.
Then Sonny came along in 1919.
In 1920, Betty went off to the mission school. She, along with many other missionary kids, was away from home for 3 months in the fall and then another 3 to 4 months after a December break.
In 1920, Milzo was born, the first boy in the Tverberg house.
1921, Borgi went off to school with Betty. At least there were 2 siblings together now. Borgi needed her big sister when problems arose.
In 1923, Dagny was born, and in 1924, Swanee went off to school. Now there were 3 children at mission school.
In 1925, Milzo went off to school, and finally in 1927, Luther was born. Luther would not go to school until 1932, when Betty was 17 years old and almost ready for college.
Soon Betty and Borgi will be left behind to go to college, and the rest of the family went back to Madagascar. Then, in a few years, Swanee and Milzo would stay, and finally Dagny and Luther stayed in the United States, and Sven and Elise went back to Madagascar all by themselves. Swanee and Connie were the first to marry.
Then Betty and Ray.
Next were Borgi and Ivan.
After them, Dagny and Dale.
Milzo and Lori followed Dagny and Dale.
And finally, Luther and Donna.
Mervyn was the first grandchild to be born in 1941. John and Bill and Steve and Bev and Mike and the rest followed.
There were eventually 29 grandchildren of Sven and Elise. The family began having their family reunions in the 1940s, at first every 2 years and now every 3 years.
And 54 great-grandchildren and 64 great-great-grandchildren so far, with at least 2 more on the way.
Lindsay Easton is the 221st member of the family, and we have 2 babies to be born by the end of the year.
What a tradition, what a family, what a heritage.
Thank you, great great grandpa and grandma.